The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Speaker, kia ora, tēnā koutou katoa, and greetings to the people from Whangaroa. Back home there now, watching this parliamentary debate and hoping for some justice. Can I just say that it was curious for us to learn now that the Maori Party have members, indeed the Green Party have members, and the National Party have members with the same reservations that New Zealand First has had for a long, long time. This matter was alive before the 1975 extension with respect to the 1975 introduction of the Treaty of Waitangi legislation itself. Now that's a fact, and anyone who has been a young lawyer back then would know that. So this is not new, but the point is that what we've got here is a whole lot of members of Parliament who are trying to say that a lot of people have relationships to certain blocks of land. That is not the issue. Who has the principal relationship is the judgment that should be made now. Now, can I just say that the second reading and the third reading of this legislation should be taking place today and tomorrow. And if people want to know why it's not, can I just put into a record a statement by Tim McIndoe of the 12th of September. He writes to the other members of the House Committee and he asks, I imagine you are all receiving a large number of requests from your colleagues. This is dated the 12th of September.
That's right.
No, I'll read it out. No, don't shout out. No, have a Valium. Exercise some control. I'm going to read it out. You can't stop me. I'm reading it out, Mr. Speaker. He says, I imagine, well, given his mind, he probably imagines a lot, yes. I imagine you are all receiving a large number of requests from your colleagues for leave on Friday, 23rd September.
Order. I'm sorry to interrupt the member. Interjections are fine, but using words that the member used are unacceptable. We won't have that. The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I imagine you are all receiving a large number of requests from your colleagues for leave on Friday, 23rd September, as I have been from mine. He asked whether or not there can be a reduction in the percentages and vote on the voice only. My colleague the next day sends a note and says, hi all, New Zealand First does not support this request for extra leave applications. It is all there. He's now caught out by his own words. And no amount of bombast and shouting from the uneducated teacher from Hamilton is going to override the facts of this document. He's been caught out. Now, the reason why we're not having it tomorrow is that he's given too much leave for his colleagues to be going on an early holiday. That's simple. Tomorrow, all they needed here tomorrow, for the people of Whangaroa, all they needed here tomorrow was 13 members. All they needed was 13 members. Now, don't tell me, tell the people you're lying to. Tell the people you're lying to.
Order.
Tell the people you're lying to.
Order. I want this to calm down. The points have been made, and I ask you to just focus on what's in the bill. The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Speaker, so what I'm saying to the Whip and to the National Party is, don't shout out here. Tell them up there from Whangaroa, face to face, that your document is not true.
Very happy.
Oh, no, you're not very happy, because you're trying to shout me down. And you're a junior member and probably be gone very shortly.
I'm telling the truth about your actions. Order.
You wouldn't know the truth.
Order. Now, as I've just mentioned just previously, I want you to calm this down. The points have been well made about the concerns, and I just want you now to focus on what's remaining time that's in the bill. Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, but what's most important here is that we've got a bill in its second reading that could have a third reading tomorrow, accepting a whole lot of members of Parliament, including the chair of the committee, has grave reservations, and so does New Zealand First, and I'll tell you why. Well, that member wouldn't know a thing about Maridom, or for that matter about DOC either, which is the reason why in Trans-Tasman magazine she was described as a lightweight. And of course, she's going to get rid of, for $25,000, all pests in this country by 2050. Now, if I was her, I would just keep my mouth shut. But here's the point. Mr. Speaker, what members need to understand is you can't negotiate justice without the facts. And with respect to what's happening in Whangaroa, what's happening here is that there's no resolution. And it's in the bill itself. It says this is not a resolution. Now, a long time ago, for people like, for example, Mr. Cullen, Dr. Cullen, and Shane Jones and others were up there a long time back. In fact, they were reported in the New Zealand Advocate trying to negotiate a settlement up here, and there were the same problems back then as there are now. Now, New Zealand First says that we will never settle it by passing this legislation and then saying, well, you can go to the court in the next 3 years, and if that is not resolved, then you come back here. Now, that's not a resolution at all. Why don't we put the firepower in, the investigatory capacity in, find out the truth, and pass a bill once and for all, so that everybody in Whangaroa can be happy? Now, who could disagree with that? Instead of saying, let's go back to the court in 3 years' time. Who's going to pay for that? Who's going to pay for the court case? Oh, now see this. Now, I'll tell you what's wrong with this parliament. There's somebody there who has no understanding of any Maori issue at all. He doesn't understand that some of us were young lawyers up there seeing Nuku Stewart and other people in Whangaroa way long time ago. Some of your forefathers are there. I remember them so well. He doesn't. But he's so arrogant. He is so arrogant, he shouts down someone who does know these people. Unbelievably arrogant. Why doesn't the member for Hamilton just keep his mouth shut? Now, and as for Madam Fox, let me tell you, why isn't the real leader of the Maori Party? Why is the real leader of the Maori Party not speaking here today? Why is the real leader of the Maori Party not speaking here today? Why is the real leader of the Maori Party not speaking here today? Now, that's a party, of course, that's going to oblivion. In fact, the government pays so much attention to them. See, that's it. Now, I want to tell the people of Whangaroa, if you witness what you're watching in the House today, it's every reason why they will know that they must not go with that group there. They must not go with that group there. These two here, one's from Ngatikahu, the other one's from the slumlands of England, and he's telling someone steeped in Maori in the north for hundreds of years to shut up in Parliament. How arrogant can you be? How arrogant can you be? Can I just say this? I have gone back and studied this for a long, long time. This bill is not a resolution. Everybody who knows the North knows that. So what?
You have completely gone back on your word.
Order. Now.
Point of order, Speaker.
I'm dealing with the matter.
Yeah. Let's throw him out.
I'm on my feet, and I'll deal with this. I've asked members of the government side to calm it down. Interjections are fine, but running commentaries and barracking are unacceptable. And this is the third time. Next time, I will deal with this in a more direct manner. Now, Right Honourable Winston.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I just say something? That I have seen this sort of battering ram legislation. I saw two iwi in the case of the Tuhoi settlement that were recognised by the most esteemed Member of Parliament Maori's ever had here, by Ngata himself, just being roughshod ridden over. I'm not going to see that happen up north, because this is what's happening here. I don't think that me, myself, Kelvin Davis or Pena Henry have the final answer to this, but we know that one is capable of being found. My point is, to come and roughshod in this Parliament and override these people without so much as a by your leave is compounding the very error that this bill claims to be correcting. That's what's wrong with this. That's what's wrong with this. And that's why we're not going to back off and be shouted down. I believe it can be resolved. For our part, New Zealand First would put the intellectual and professional firepower in to find the truth behind this matter, because it is not possible. And we know in our Maori world this. What is the number one principle of Polynesia or the Maori world? They who live on the land, who keep the land warm, they who are there should be the first voices on any matter. That's our rule, has been for centuries. Why now we've got a group of parliamentarians, including some people who know nothing about this issue, telling us that they can correct it? In short, if we can't fix up this area by area, and not go for the clobbering machine solution, let's give it to the iwi and have all the infights internal, and then they'll get up in Parliament and say, but we gave you all the land, we gave you all the money, now it's your problem. Now it's your problem. I can see them wiping their hands of it. And then they come in here with their fawned passion and concern. By gee, how I despise that. How many Maori are out there who are homeless? Tens of thousands of them. How many are in our prisons? Tens of thousands of them. Do they have any priority about giving a Maori fair go in their own country? No, they bring in 70,000 foreigners every year to compete against Maori, and they stand up here and say they are concerned about Maoridom. No, they're not. They're concerned about their own political longevity. And I'm telling you on this issue, mark my words, we will campaign on this all the way to the next election. And we'll find out up there in Whangaroa who knows what they're talking about. I want those members to turn up in Whangaroa and explain themselves. But of course, if they did, they'd be run out of town. They'd run out of town, as a former minister was when he went up there. So I say tread lightly. Listen to what the local people are saying. Why don't we come with a total resolution and not a half-pie settlement, which even in its own drafting says this matter will end up in the courts again. That's not legislation, that's foolery.